Pipe it up and give it up from our boy Ayofuzz. Thank you so much for being our first guest on this podcast. That most people may not know, you actually are the one who pushed and inspired me to take this leap of faith and try something new. So I want to say thank you again for being here and give you the opportunity to just let us know how you are doing and how you're feeling about being our first guest this day.
So first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. Yes, we got to push you a little bit, try new things. But no, it was one of those things where, like I said, I saw a potential in an idea, and it's fun, and it's fun to get to know people in the community. So thank you so much for having me on your first episode, being the first guest.
Yes,
thank you so much.
So you get to stretch it out real thick and girthy for us. You do.
Oh my.
You get to stretch it out and let the people know, because we have over 50 plus individuals that said, listen, I want to be a part of this. I want to be involved in the podcast, and we want to give everybody, of course, their time and their shine. And for those that don't know, that does mean that our boy Fuzz is going to be doing a lot of editing behind the scenes for us, because he is our also official editor for the Shaynanigans podcast series, which will be available offline as well. So thank you again for even helping with that too, King. Thank you.
I got you.
Okay. So before we get into the thick of it, because that's the name of this first episode, because we see each other, I just want to do just a little icebreaker to get us all a little loose. Because I'm a dancer, I love music and singing. I know you have also been killing it in the music game. If y'all don't know about Fuzz and his music creation and DJ and all that, you'll hear more about it from him. But he is absolutely amazing, and I'm super proud of you and all you have accomplished. So, especially since we see each other on the music, I just want to ask a little cutesy question and be like, if you were alone, let's say just alone in your room, you can be clothed, naked, however you want to be. When you're by yourself, what's one of your favorite songs to just lose yourself to?
It's actually a whole album.
Okay, give it to me. Which is it?
It's Janet Jackson. It's the Velvet Rope album. Start to finish.
Start to finish. I love that. And you just be dancing around the room, bearing it all.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. I can see that.
It's got calm songs. It's got a little angry songs. It's got mellow. It peaks and valleys in the right moments. If you know what I mean.
I love that. I can't breathe. I love it. This is already, let me tell you something. This is already just a good energy space. I appreciate you coming on and sharing. Listen, Velvet Rope, we could lose it to Michael Jackson, Dangerous. For me, I'm a little elder emo girl. We could put on that 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge and I just rock out in my panties for the whole. That's me. We see each other on the music. So I just wanted to get us warm and wet with that one, okay? By the end of the stream, we'll all be dancing in our underwear. That's how we doing here, okay? Okay, so let's get into it. So, from you, I want to hear more about what, first of all, inspired you to pursue content creation, and how did you end up with the rest of us degenerates over here on Kick Streaming? Straight from the horse's mouth. How did you get here, baby?
So that's like a 5-part question.
It is.
So, originally, I started doing a little bit of YouTube. It was one of those things where I kind of poked around with like video ideas, and then I found the podcasting space. Podcasting space with a bunch of group of friends did that. My friend said, hey, you should stream this. And I was like, I can't stream on YouTube. And then found the Purple app, aka Twitch. Streamed on there for a while, had a good amount of time. Had a little bit of a falling out with Twitch because they were holding my money hostage. I wanted to leave the affiliate program that I had with Twitch because I found this app called Kick. And I didn't want any association or any type of contract with another company. I wanted to go my own way. They said that if I terminated my contract, that I was not going to get paid out my payouts.
What?
Yes, and I have the email. It's on Twitter. Yeah, and I parted my ways with them, and I haven't looked back since.
Understandable. That was first of all, they being funny and messing with the money. We don't do that around here. No. Oh no, we don't do that on the Green app. The Green app be about that green. We got that 95 split. And I've never heard of an affiliate. So they said if you don't want to be an affiliate no more, they are not going to allow you to receive the money you had already made in your payout.
Yep. They said that money is null and void.
And they was going to just pocket it and give it back to
Mhm.
the trillion-dollar corporation. Somebody call Dan Clancy and tell him we need to have a kick conversation. Get him on the show because that's not cool. We don't like people messing with, especially in the content creator space. I feel like you and I both come from a generation in a space where we could never imagine being able to monetize being either a streamer or content, making money on the internet, period, is wild. So one thing that I do love about Kick as well is that over here they make sure that the majority of us seem to be paid on time. We get a 95-5 split, and even if it's you've made $5 or you've made $100,000, they're gonna pay you on the first of the month or whenever they say it's gonna drop. So shout out to Kick. At least on the green side, they keep the green rights. Can we all agree to that? Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, so that's a little bit about what brought you here. So you came in through podcasting. I want you to tell us a little bit more about some of the things you do over here on the Green app, because you do a lot of different things from what I've seen you do on your streams. And if you create in any other spaces, you can let us know what you do there as well.
So yeah, I'm kind of like what I like to consider like the multi-box tool person. May not be the jack of a lot, but got trades and everything. Know how to do a lot of stuff. So basically, over on Kick, I just love to have a good time. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Yeah, I have bad days. Everybody has bad days, but I just want to create a space where people can come to have fun. Cup nut kiki, be their authentic self. It's an LGBTQ plus space that is a safe space for people to just be themselves. That's what I'm about, and just creating stuff. I've always had the knack for just creating stuff. I don't know why. Art, whether it be art or making a podcast or YouTube video or editing. It's just been something I've always liked and had the eye for. And some people, they say, how did you get that done in such a quick time? And I was like, that's easy. And they're like, it took me a week to do it. And I'm like, oh, and it's just one of those things. I've been easy. It's easy for me to do. I just don't know what else to say than it's easy for me to do.
Amen. So you've always kind of had that mind of creative, outside the box content creation. That's always been something that's within you.
Always. It's always been something that I've just been able to do. And even with photography, I do photography outside of streaming for models and things like that. And I always come up with crazy ideas and just different type of angles. I always like to shoot at different angles. I can't stand when people are just straight on shooting. I'm like, no. You got to switch it. You got to switch it up a little bit here.
Yes,
hold on.
yes. Pose. You gotta
Please.
pose like you mean it.
Please don't. I can't stand when photographers do the
Oh, no.
photo just like this. No, yeah, just no. Give me some range. Give me something. Give me a hand up here. I don't something.
I love
Can't do it.
that. I love that. Big with the switch up. And are there any other spaces that you create outside of? I know you do podcasting, and that goes on multiple platforms. You do any TikTok, any other YouTube shorts, anything like that?
So I do TikTok. All my content that I stream, I edit it down and I actually put it on every platform. So it's on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I do the shorts on YouTube. Anything that I kind of feel that pops off on TikTok, I throw over to the other platforms. It's kind of like one of those things where this is called recycling content. That's a kind of a controversial subject with a lot of people. But it's one of those things where if you've got the content there, you've already streamed it, you might as well make it into something else for another platform.
That part right there. And I do see you and a lot of other content creators taking advantage of making clips, doing shorter form content. And I know that you've said like, hey, I put some short form content over here, and then my numbers in live streaming as well are also simultaneously increasing. So there seems to be a bit of a correlation between those that do the offline content and also live streaming can help you increase your audience, so it seems.
It
Okay.
100% does help. Like I tell people is if you put as much effort into your offline content as you do your online content, you will succeed.
Ooh, see, that's free game right there. Cause I guess y'all know I don't do a whole lot of. This is why we have Fuzz. Fuzz gonna teach us. He's not just teaching me; he's teaching us that we need to not sometimes. Sometimes we get in our comfort zone, y'all. I know that I'm personally very guilty of getting in my comfort zone and being like, "Oh, let's turn the camera on when I can, say hey to the people." But branching out, especially if you're trying to build and grow in this space and making that offline content, I feel more encouraged to do that by just speaking with you and you saying like, hey, it does help and it is important. Keep on branching out. So love that. Killing it over there. You did mention that you do some photography outside of this, correct? So
Yes.
see, so we want to make sure that we learn more about some of the things that you do and have done outside of streaming and creating. We want to know more about you as a person, the things you like, all that good stuff. So I think we got to start with how you grew up. We want to know a little bit about your childhood and how your childhood influenced you into becoming the person that you are today and being involved in this space.
So definitely, I think growing up where I grew up, which we talked about this a little bit before,
Yeah.
I grew up in a lot of places. So I moved around a lot, but I primarily stayed in California. We talked about last podcast. I was like, I was your neighbor because pretty much 2 streets over, I was living there.
Yo,
That's where I was.
CBT 31032 South Central LA. Come on, let's do it.
And that kind of molded me. It wasn't necessarily my parents that molded me in that aspect. Yes, they laid down the framework, I would say. But I really learned from culture, and I learned from being in a diverse environment and seeing what this might be over what this might be on that side. And growing up through that really made me realize that people are people and everyone's human. And you gotta kind of live with that analogy in life is we may not agree on a lot of things, but we're human at the end of the day. Grew up in
Mm.
a weird household. I'll tell you that right now. I had a mom that was
Okay.
very free spirited, and I had a dad that was a Marine. So
Mm.
you can already tell how that went. They are no longer together; they're divorced. But
Okay.
but it's a blessing, and I'm glad my mom remarried and my dad remarried, and they're fine and living their best lives. But I chose to forge my own path, and I did talk about it the work I did in San Francisco.
Bring it on.
The harlotry that I had. Everybody has that moment. I was in the adult industry. I went and did stripping and everything else, and made my money. And I'm not going to take back anything I learned in life. I learned a lot of lessons. Sometimes we got to learn things the hard way, and
Mhm.
it's unfortunate that we do. But I'm one of those people where you learn from those lessons, you grow from them, you adapt, and you just move forward.
Get
That's what
it,
I'm about.
baby. Get
Moved
it,
everywhere
baby.
though. Literally, North
Okay.
Carolina, South Carolina, Montana, California, Florida.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, moved everywhere.
Been all but listen, he's a I need being around the way, girl.
Yeah, but yeah, basically.
I love that. And I love that you spoke to the idea of growing up in a space that was diverse, that taught you the just different cultures, different ways of engaging with people. I know you're huge on inclusion when it comes to BIPOC, when it comes to LGBTQIA. You're always creating spaces for everybody, no matter how we identify in our religious backgrounds, our cultural backgrounds, our sexual identities, our gender identities, wherever the case may be. You always create a safe and welcoming space for all people. And I want to say thank you for doing that because not every creator in this space, I feel like, as myself, and I'm sure other people can relate to, feel like they're welcoming people's chats and streams because not everybody comes with that energy. So thank you for being one of those people.
I always try to do that, and there's been times where I've been angry, and it happens. But no, it's one of those things where I always want to make sure that you have a home, and like the wise old lady Shug would say, uh, you are somebody special, and you are somebody's smile. So that's what I've used that analogy is try to give somebody that smile for that day, and take them out of the bullshit because I've been there. We've been there in those spaces, and we know that having a little bit of a reprieve and watching somebody have fun and cup nuck and kiki, you feel
Right.
better.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's why we try to create these spaces to get away from some of the craziness that goes on in this earth and just have a good time on this camera. So I appreciate you being here. And I did want to also ask you, from that upbringing, from you experiencing moving all over the place, your family, the areas you grew up in, different jobs that you've had, how do you feel all of that brought you to this moment right here, being a creator in this space with us?
I think what it was is I was one of those. Okay, maybe it's our generation. I don't know. I just was never happy where I was working, and always wanted to try new things. So, one year I was a stripper. The next year I was laying tile. The next year I was at the marina being a deckhand. The next year I was doing security. Um, it just was one of those things where, I think it kind of molded me to realize, hey, you can do a lot of things. You don't have to do this specific thing,
Right.
but you can do this, and it's okay to be a jack of all trades, in quotation marks. It's okay to be that person for people. It was a hard lesson learned, but at the same time, I know I can do it if I put my mind to it. So
That part. That
and
part.
it really did mold me to realize that, you don't necessarily have to go to college. You don't necessarily have to do that stuff. There's stuff that you can learn that are trades. Excuse me, sorry. There's stuff that you can do and learn it better than somebody that has a degree.
That part.
So that's the thing that I want to, you like I tell people, yes, get your schooling if you want to go to, go high school, go into like a couple years of college, but don't think that you can't self-teach yourself something. So.
Wow. Yep. Stay encouraged, y'all. And that is such good advice for us. I feel like a lot of people, and really like a lot of us, especially here in America, get brainwashed into thinking you have to go to college, you have to graduate high school, you got to get a degree and all these things in order to be successful. And they'd be like, oh, because if you don't, you're going to be working at McDonald's. Wait, tell working at McDonald's though. Then people at McDonald's be raking up more than some of us that do full-time streaming, all types of people. And they be working there getting that good retirement. Don't y'all be sleeping on people at McDonald's. We got to stop those stereotypes and being negative to people that do custodial work or in customer service and different things like that, because we need every job to continue to function as society. And like you said, Fuzz, it does not take a degree to know how to do. I would really say like, hell, 80% of job. I don't want nobody playing doctor off the street.
No.
That part we
Not
don't. That part we don't. But I'm telling you, a lot of stuff you can learn. Even as I was in therapy. You can learn a lot of stuff about how to treat people. You'll probably be the bomb therapist, Fuzz, without really doing too much. You don't need 10 years of school and all this stuff to know how to talk to people and diagnose and do all that stuff. So I'm just saying, sometimes they tell us to do all these things that we don't need to be doing. So thank you for encouraging the people.
Oh, yeah,
all right.
That's my I got 2 years and I'll have that little degree for that.
Okay, what you getting your degree in? Hold up.
Psychology.
That's right. We see each other. We good. Holla if you need me. Because I got my master's in social work. I can help out if you need me. We see the people.
It's I've learned a lot from going to the school on that. So it's been real interesting and eye-opening. Don't self-diagnose yourself, guys. That's another thing.
Yes!
Let me just put this preface out here. So for the podcast here, you'll get this book, and this book has a lot of diagnoses in it. Do not be looking at that book and diagnosing yourself.
Yep. We've all made that mistake.
Because I had like 20 different diagnoses for myself, and I was like, yeah, no, we don't need to be doing this.
Right. Yep. You be like, oh, I'm this. I'm a little BPD. I'm a little this, a little bit. And don't you be coming in my chair, Fuzz, and trying to die. I got all my crazy pills, okay? They figured me out already. I'm a nut. That's my diagnosis. And half of y'all are too. Okay. So listen, let's stop the WebMD madness for real. All right. So we already getting into the, you know what? We're about to be getting into the thick and the girthy of it all. Are you ready for this?
Let me pray on this for a second. Okay, yeah, I'm good.
That's why we prayed before the podcast. That's why we prayed before the podcast, because you and I both need it with each other. On your mark, let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Just, we're good. We're good. I'll just,
you gotta shimmy it out.
I was thinking about
Okay.
sir. I was thinking about things. Sorry. Whew, okay.
No,
Uh,
you good, King. Listen, and like I always, and this goes for anybody that comes into this space. We want to make sure that people are comfortable, welcome. We never gonna put you in a compromising position. None of that stuff. Just speak your truth, give your honest thoughts, and we can all just embrace and respect each other's opinions and feedback. Amen.
amen.
Amen. Okay, so to get into it, every platform we know, especially this one, especially with some of the latest news that's come out with people, kick streamers acting a fool at TwitchCon and all types of things that were happening, right? And of course, not just kick streamers, we're not just alone in that. It was also people at Twitch cutting up and doing all these things, but people like to zero in on kick because, hey, we're the new kids on the block. So every platform has its highs and lows. So I have to ask, what is it that you like or even love about being on kick streaming? And what are some of your, let's call them areas for growth,
Okay.
or just something you just straight up don't like? Keep it real, whatever you want to say. Highs and lows, baby. Give it to me.
Okay. So I like. So first off, with Kick, I like that you have a staff that you can reach out to, and that issue is solved within sometimes 30 minutes.
Definitely.
Um, the availability of help and the availability of willingness to work is there. If you have an idea, you have a concept, you have anything like that, there are so many people you can reach out to try to see if that can be on the platform, or try to see if it can be a category. Where on other platforms, they don't give a shit about the community. They
That
don't.
part.
Anytime we've ever had an issue or we've voiced our opinion, Kick has solved that. Kick has put tools in place. Kick has said, we are going to be better. We are going to fix this. Now, speaking about the Twitch con shit,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand that this is a huge platform. People will say it's not huge. It is a huge platform.
Yes, it is.
It is growing very rapidly, and it has grown very rapidly. Even more than I would have to say Twitch did at first. Um,
Mm.
there are going to be people that unfortunately are going to be a little bit of a bad apple in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to tell people, don't let that dictate the platform for what it is. You have your 1% that's kind of, huh, but you also have your other streamers that are on the platform that are your affiliates that make up 90% of the platform, that are out here grinding. They're out here being authentic, being real,
Thank
and just
you.
having a good time. There are people out here that I do see streaming that are reactive streamers. They do it for the reaction. They do it for the drama. They do it for
Right.
try to get those clicks and views.
Yes.
Because they can't, to be honest, they can't be authentic themselves.
Ooh. A
Um,
word?
and that's just putting it blunt. Sorry, I said what I said. Sorry, not sorry. There's just certain streamers that have to have a stick, have to have that stuff, and just can't be their genuine selves on the platform. You being one of them that can be that genuine and just be yourself, like me, just being myself, having fun.
Trying.
If people don't like it, people don't like it. You don't gotta have a stick to do streaming. You don't gotta put on a mask, or I don't know, whatever it is that people do nowadays.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about. You
Right.
don't gotta do that. And also streamer etiquette. This is something that I think a lot of the new generation doesn't understand. If you see somebody streaming in a booth, don't run up in there.
Thank you.
Just you can be your wild self out there doing stuff on other people, but if you see somebody in a booth, let's just keep it 100. Like, you can have fun, say we're doing whatever you're doing, but just don't ruin that person's opportunity. And also, because of that opportunity, the other person now has armor against a platform that he didn't really have any
Oh
affiliation
my
with at all.
God. Right.
So it's just one of those things where it's better not to do than to do.
That part. So nasty and so rude. And I thank you for speaking to the streamer etiquette of it all. I think, unfortunately, that, like we say, every platform does have its bad apples. I don't know if there are people that sometimes have in mind, like, hey, Kick is this new platform. Sometimes we do get a little about a little crazy. So it's like, I'm going to go on this platform just for the sake of me being a shock value person and being wild. And a lot of these, I'm not gonna put it just on you, because we love our Gen Z people and some of our 18-year-olds and all that good stuff. There's a lot of awesome people, but I do feel like content creation for some of the younger ones is taking this switch where it's just like, I don't care who I'm bothering. I don't give a damn about what you're doing. I want to do something crazy and go viral, and I'm going to make a whole lot of money when I do this crazy stuff. And a lot of times we see that just backfiring, and then now you're deplatformed, you're banned, and nobody wants to work with you, and the money ain't coming in at all, or it's just not working out, I think, the way people think it is in the long run, and they're hurting themselves and they're possibly hurting other people. So thank you for speaking to streamer etiquette. That's huge.
I also think it's the content that's being ingested because, like, I
Mm-hmm.
know, like, our era is like the Vine era, um,
Mm-hmm.
which, yeah, that content, some of it was not. 80% of it wasn't shocking. The other stuff was just a
Right.
little weird, like throwing
Mm-hmm.
hot dogs and stuff, whatever. But it wasn't anything that was hurting anybody. And that's the thing that I don't think people are understanding with making content now is if you're hurting somebody or someone, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably not the content you want to be making. If you want to make shock value content, do something shocking, but don't do something where you're hurting anybody or any platform about it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
you can still go viral, you can still get a good video, you can still get clicks, you can still all that stuff, but
Right.
you don't gotta be mean to people.
Yeah, and put people in harm's way. I think one of the and being mean. I think one and being reactive is another thing that you said. A lot of times people will try to put you into situations to then cause a reaction. I fell victim to it a few times, but one of the nastiest things that I think I've personally seen is there are people that will, hey, I'm gonna put your business out there. I'm gonna put you on blast, but then I want you to come and be a part of my show or be on my podcast so you can speak about something that you didn't even want out in the first place. Which is insane, you guys. So one, just a little piece of advice that I think Fuzz would agree on as well. Be careful, and we're gonna also transition to a little bit about this in our next little segment. But be careful just who you share information with. Not everybody is your friend. Not everybody wants their best. As we can see, a lot of people at that TwitchCon were thinking about themselves. Not worried about what anybody else was doing or how it impacted them. So just be careful who you one surround yourself with and who you share information with. Because people one day be your buddy, and as long as you helping them out and all that stuff, they love you. The second they don't feel like you getting them to where they want to be and stuff, oh, they'll turn their back on you so fast. They'll take up on you. They will. It uses no Vaseline. Okay.
It's
Ah, far as I know, can relate. And speaking of which, I know I kind of brought up a little bit of a challenge that I face on this platform. I want to hear from you. What, if any, have you faced any challenges in this space that you've had to overcome? And if so, how did you overcome it?
so again, there we're gonna speak on it in a little bit in the easiest way I can do it possible.
Okay.
Um, there's been multiple things that have happened. I'm not gonna speak on those things, but it's just knowing who you are as a streamer,
Mm,
knowing your own self worth, knowing that whatever else somebody is gonna say has no effect on you. You know your own self worth. You know what you are about. You know what you're doing. Um, and the other thing too, which people got to understand, is you're a business. Your name on here. Think if you think of this as a business and a job, you will go
yes.
so much farther than if you think of this as a I'm gonna make friends be a buddy buddy fest. Um,
Amen.
if you think about it as a business and have mutual respect for the people that you're creating content with, you will go so much farther. Um, that's the difference. The way I approach it is it's a business. I approach it as this is a business deal we're doing right now. We might cup Nook and Kiki out there, but right now
Right.
we clocked in. We clocked in.
Locked in.
Like we
Sure.
hit we hit the punch card. We clocked in right now. No, I think the challenges that I face is just knowing when to be business and knowing when to be that supportive friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've in the past have done too much for some people, which I had to learn myself and learn that lesson. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you need to pull back a little bit before
Yes.
you dive into the thick of it. And you know what I mean. Before you dive, let's get the vibe of people before we offer every assistance and known demand.
Yes.
But yeah, that's really it. Is just kind of learning myself who I am, even though I know who I am. Just learning more about myself. Being like, you know what? You don't got to do that today.
That
You could do
part.
this today.
Yeah.
It's that.
Right. I love that. and pouring into your own cup before you try to pour into the cup of others. And I think that's so important. What you said is about, you know, the parasocial relationships of it all, right? Not to say that you were falling victim to this, but sometimes we do believe we know people more than we really do. And then life slaps you in the face when you're like, oh, we're actually not friends, or we actually don't see each other on this, and that's fine. So I'm glad that even just for you and mine, which I will call one of the true and few real friendships that I've made in this space. We've known each other for almost a year now. And now we're moving forward, one with a business relationship, two with a friendship coming together. But we've known each other, we've seen each other at some really, really high moments, and we've seen each other at some really, really low moments. And we've been there for each other throughout. So I think y'all can learn, anybody that's listening to this podcast, you can learn a little something about taking time to get to know some of these people before you get deep and thick and girthy into their lives, because it can't kick you back in the ass, slap you in the face. It can.
That part.
I heard that. Okay, so I love that, and just the idea, of course, of getting to know yourself and who you are, like you said, pointing to your own cup before others is also a big one. Finding things about yourself that you feel confident in, knowing what you do well. Like you said, I can edit and create just off the top. I ain't gotta do nothing special. For me, I be trying to edit this podcast that you're gonna say you said you're gonna work on tonight. I'll be working on it for about 3 months. And it still would not come out as good as what you do. So you are blessed and highly favored. Keep on doing what you do. Now, another hot topic that comes up a lot, especially because you're getting your degree in psychology. I'm a master's in social work girly myself. The mental health of it all. The mental health. Especially being one, this is the season, 'tis the season for seasonal depression. I've been saying in almost every single stream that we've had over here on Kick Streaming. It's the holidays. A lot of people are in grief. It's depression, feeling lost. The next year is coming up and they don't know what the word, all the different stuff is going into an election year. Let's not even get into that. But there's a lot of energy. So I just want to hear from you. How do you feel streaming or creating along with social media have impacted your mental health? And what do you then do for self-care to not give in to all this madness sometimes?
So I definitely have struggled with that.
Mhm.
It's something that I noticed right away, and I remember you actually liked the tweet, so I know you saw it. I posted about, hey guys, I'm going to be doing a social detox. I'm not going to be posting as much. You'll see my content being posted,
Mhm.
my shorts, stuff like that. But I'm not going to be checking my phone from 5 p.m. to the rest of the night. The reason why I did that is because I noticed myself getting sucked into to be honest, let's just be blunt, the drama of the situations.
Mhm.
The he said, she said, and I've learned that if I cut that stuff out, there are people that are genuine that come around you. There are people that want to be there for you. It's not about, oh, if I go on this person, I'm going to get this. No, it's not about that. You'll
Mhm.
find people that are genuinely want to be around you and genuinely want to spend time. And that was one of the mental health struggles that I struggled with that, and then also just struggled with life in general. Life just hit me like a ton of bricks. Um, and I persevered through it. And the going back to like the streamer side of it, I always tell people, don't be afraid to block certain names, block certain words, block certain phrases, block certain things on your social media to better your own health and also better your own mental. And don't be afraid to also talk to somebody. If you have a good Judy, you got somebody you can cup nucky kiki with, or even just calling a hotline, anything like that does help. Trevor
Mhm.
Project is one of the ones that I like to also promote for the LGBTQ plus community. It's just one of those things. Don't be afraid to reach out to your good Judy. I know that not to put her on blast, but she'll reach out to me. I'll reach out to her, but Shug, I need to talk to you right now. This is what's going on. And she'll be like,
Yes.
you're fine. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, bye. So it's just one of those things where find somebody that authentically wants to be there, and I'm that for a lot of people that I know, and I'm honored to be able to be a part of that. Um, it just takes a lot of soul searching, and you got to really search in yourself and be like, why am I reacting to these situations?
Mm,
Why am I so pissed about this when it's not even involving me? You really got to go
right.
to the deep seated root of that, and it does stem into the way you were brought up, your childhood trauma, things like that. As you know, we could talk psychology for days, but we're not going
Yes.
to. That's another podcast. That's an 8-hour podcast.
Yes,
Uh,
it is. And we can get it done, baby. We can.
8 hours of psychoanalyzing yourself about why you chose a spork over a spoon.
Right.
Just saying. No, it again, going back to on topic here, it's just find space for yourself. If it's playing a video game alone, if it's
Yeah.
drawing, if it's writing, my therapy is in writing and my music. A lot of my music that I've talked about it looks really happy, but if you read the lyrics, it's very dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's pouring my experience and my pain on a page to get rid of it.
Mm.
And that's the reason why a lot of the songs, a couple of my friends were like, "Man, this is so upbeat," but like I was reading the lyrics and that
Right.
was dark. And I was like,
Yeah,
"You
yeah.
good?" And then I hit him with it. It's not a phase, mom. So that part, that part.
Still in it. Still in it. Never gonna leave. Excuse me. That is right on the money, Fuzz. I feel like it's good that you have outlets like music, for example, where you can let it out, whether it's writing lyrics, creating a song, like we talked about at the top of the stream. What's a album or a song you can just lose yourself to? I think we all need outlets. I think if you get caught up, like you said, in the drama, especially when it's not even about you, sometimes people will drag you into things. And I think that, for myself, that's where I have felt the most reactive because now you're talking about whether it's myself, my family, my culture, whatever the case may be. Now I feel a need to, now I gotta stand up for the culture. Now I gotta talk and now I gotta stand up. But sometimes I really wish I would have taken a page out of your book and you just gotta let them talk. I think you even said something like that on Twitter. Was it earlier today or yesterday? Like, just let them do it. Because they're gonna do it regardless, whether you're doing good. And well, here's the thing. Some people are gonna talk whether you're doing good. Some people gonna talk whether you're doing bad. But some people only gonna talk about the bad. Let's talk about it. And then other people what they try to frame as bad. And then other people are gonna encourage you whether you're soaring and everything's going good and everything's going low like you. So I think it's a blessing that one, you have people like Sugar Bears Club who's in the chat that you can go to, that you can trust. And not to say we making people our therapists, but and we all and like you said, it's good to be in real therapy as well and get you some professional. I was one for 10 years. And I've had my own on and off for years as well. It makes a huge difference just having that unbiased a lot of times opinion, but it is good to find your people. I feel like it's great advice. Somebody, if you are feeling low or feeling lost or like you've hit a wall, you can then come to, and like Fuzz checks in on me all the time, like pretty much every Sunday. I can count on a voice message or a message on my Twitter saying, "Hey sis, just checking in on you. Just want to make sure you're good. Just everything good." And he's one of those people, and get you a person that'll ask you this. A lot of us have these passive conversations, right? "Hey, how are you?" "Oh, good." "All right." "Oh, you? I'm good too." But some people ask you, "Hey, how are you?" And they really genuinely want to know and want to hear. They want more than a good, like what's really going on behind the scenes. If you are good, that's great. But if something's really going on, get you somebody you can trust like a Fuzz. So I think that's
Yeah,
excellent advice for navigating all this.
yeah. It's you got to really you'll find that person, and again, it's going to be trial and error. But you'll definitely find those people that you click with and that get it and also don't expect anything in return.
Ooh,
That's the main thing that
yes.
I want to bring up is I don't expect nothing out of Lauren. I don't expect
Right.
nothing out of the people that I have in my friend group. Only thing I can expect is, hey, if I ever need a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning, hey, can you pick up that phone, please? That's about
Right.
it.
If
You
something's
know what I
going on, because
mean?
something's got to be going on, you call me at 2 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. Because, me and Jojo are going to be somewhere laid up like this. Or like, if I can put my legs in the air, I would.
um.
But I can't no more.
Well,
Ugh.
my future husband.
I can't. We'll share them. He might feature a lot of things. We're going to share that man with me first. Share that man with me. I'm dead.
I at least get them on the weekends, okay?
Okay, all right.
One weekend a month. All right.
Oh, the weekend. You like 9 to 5 on the weekend. Okay, before scissor comes from my neck. Let me stop. All right. So we talked about some of the highs and lows. We talked about our own mental health, how it impacts us being in this space of social media, taking a break, getting the right people in your corner, all of that. I want to hear something from you, a moment in your life, 2 different moments. I know there's got to be a lot because you're an amazing person. But I want to hear inside and outside of content creation. What are 2 moments that you're really proud of yourself? So something outside of all of this that you're proud of yourself for as a person, and something inside of all this that you're proud of yourself for achieving.
Inside streaming, I would have to say raising. I can't remember how much it was. My original goal, I think, was $100 to donate to charity. We hit, I think it was like 6 something we hit, which I was on the floor in tears. It was for the Trevor Project because, again, I would not be here without the Trevor Project. Yes, I went down that dark path in life, but I reached out to that number, and I'm thankful I did because I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I always tell people that even at your darkest moment, it's okay to pick up the phone. It's okay to have a call. It's okay to talk to somebody, even somebody you don't know.
It's right there.
And that's the reason why I raised money for that. And I was shocked that I even raised that much. So in streaming, that's something I'm really proud of, and I will always, kind of hold personally. Also, with music, I hit top 10 on House EDM, which shocked me on SoundCloud. I was like, I'm an independent artist, don't have no record label. Why am I on this list of they put me on the Discover list? I was shocked. That blew me away. But definitely outside, I would have to say the thing that I'm really most proud of is it's all the work I used to do in San Francisco. They have a HIV/AIDS clinic, and just spreading awareness and spreading basically just information in the community, and trying to erase the stigma behind that, as well as giving them information on PrEP, giving them information on pre-exposure, post-exposure, and how they're, if you did have somebody that had something happen, there is medication you can take that literally can get rid of it, and have a 99% chance of never having it in your whole life. It's just one of those things that it was just kind of rewarding seeing people change their mind about things. And I did that for every Pride, every Folsom Street Fair. Please do not Google Folsom Street Fair, guys. Every Pride, every event, everything like that. Just working with the downtown leadership was super rewarding on that. It was just rewarding to see people go, oh, there's so many other things out here, and not know, just the information people just didn't know. So it was good to see. I got pride out of that, going, I did my community service for my community, and just help uplift people that may have stigmatisms behind it. So
that's amazing, because you are not only taking pride at pride. Let's talk about taking pride in the pride of it all, but also reaching out to make sure that people are informed, that we do break this stigma around HIV and AIDS. One thing that I know you don't know about my mother, I was thinking in the back of my mind, oh my God, my mom would love Fuzz. And one day y'all will meet, because we real friends, we see each other. One day you'll meet my mom. My mom raised us, because not only in the LGBTQ community was highly impacted by HIV/AIDS, especially in the 80s and 90s, and still to this day, but out of all of the races, majority African American. My mom has been involved. She was involved with this group called Women at Risk, and it was about Black women who were living with AIDS. She would run support groups. Ever since I was a little girl, she would run support groups. I've unfortunately lost a lot of who I considered play aunties to the disease that I met through my mom doing these support groups, educating people, trying to make sure that they had the resources and the best medication that were available at the time. So I think that's a beautiful thing. And it just reminded me of my own family and upbringing, how a lot of people feel like today, oh, it's manageable and people aren't dying from it. But people, one, did. And a lot of us live with the grief and the loss from losing those people. And also, yes, people are still very much so dying from HIV/AIDS. So make sure that you take time out of your day. If you are somebody who's actively having sex, whether it's oral, booty, in the vagina, whatever, however you're doing it, go get tested, check on yourself, take them like there's prep, like you said, you can take precautions beforehand to not find yourself in a compromising position later, and treat people no matter what they're going through with respect, love, and dignity. I love that. That you've taken pride in that and also helping others. Also, shout out to can we give a huge bump, maybe not bump. Wait a minute, I forgot about the diddler. The diddler was involved in bump. But can y'all give it up in the chat for Ayofuzz? Get it in the top 10, he said, on the EDM, his music, an independent artist. That's huge. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us, and music moves me. I know it moves Fuzz. So to see you shine and thrive in that space, baby, we so damn proud of you. I can barely put it into words. I love that for you, and you're going to keep on killing it. Okay.
Yeah, it was a shock when I got that email, and then I was like, and then it was kind of funny because I looked at it yesterday, and I'm not on a list no more. But I was like, hey, it was lived. I was there for a minute. I was there.
Right, that part.
I might be top 100, but I'm still there.
That's huge, though. That's major. That's more than a lot of people could say. So, like I said to you offline one time, I'm like, hey, maybe one day we're gonna catch you on that uprising season. I'll be right there behind you for us. I'm like, you know what? Let me go get my ass on the uprising. Shout out to Maeve and Doug putting that together, and Echoes Nation winning the whole thing, performing at DreamHack coming next weekend. But me and Fuzz got to find our way on there to win whatever their next prize gonna be.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him, Maze.
Shout out to them. All the people, all our music streamers here, we love. Thank you for being part of that community.
He deserved that. Iceman did.
Big W to the people.
Mm-hmm. That was a good song. I was watching it.
Yeah, Echoes.
Sorry, Echoes. My Iceman.
Iceman.
My brain.
Not the Iceman too, though, because Iceman do be doing his big one. We never gonna sleep on ice, but it was Echoes and Fun Bun.
I was listening to the kick mix I had earlier, and his name is stuck in my head. Sorry, wrong person.
But see, that's how and that's such, I don't want to say a small thing, but it's an easy thing for us to do in this community. And I think it's so sad that a lot of people get into these silent competitions. I feel like with other streamers, instead of taking an opportunity to be like, hey, you're a music streamer, you make music too. Okay, boom, download. It's like, it takes 2 seconds. Let me go like the video. Takes 2. There's enough room at the table for all of us to eat, just saying. So thank you for supporting other streamers outside of yourself, okay? And everybody knows how to do that over here.
I'm just a like, a retweet, hitting a subscribe button, not having to pay no money. It's free. It helps you out, it helps the artist out, it helps everybody out. And even just sharing it to a friend helps.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
It's one of those things.
Share that donation link. When you see people like Fuzz out here doing charity or giving back to the Trevor Project, or a lot of y'all do stack up for the veterans and the military folks, share it with your mama. Share it with people outside of the streaming space too. Say, hey, I might not have $1, but she do. You never know. So I love that. And I do want to ask you, before we're about to start wrapping up in a little bit, but as somebody who is seasoned in content creation, getting acclimated on Kick streaming for, I believe, over a year now. How long you been on Kick, Fuzz?
A year and some change.
Come on. When you know your start date?
It's some date.
That part.
I don't celebrate. See, this is the thing. I don't celebrate anniversaries. Everybody celebrates like the anniversary. Right. I just pop on and say, hey, we're streaming, guys.
But there you go. We're gonna look it up on Fan Finder after this. But I know you've been here for over a year, because we've known each other damn well a year. So I do want to know from you, since you are seasoned, the seasoned and sexy of Kick, what's a piece of advice that you would share for new and upcoming streamers?
Ooh, so much.
Give it all.
First off, you don't have to have the best setup. Okay, You don't have to have a crazy microphone. You don't have to have a crazy webcam. You don't have to have a crazy layout. The main thing I want people to understand is just be your authentic self. Be genuine. Have fun with your audience. that's the main thing I could say. And just hit the go live button. Don't be afraid. It might be the worst stream you've ever done in your whole life,
Right.
lagging. It don't matter. Just have a fun time, and
Yeah.
don't be afraid to, you know, the subs will come, things will come like that, followers will
Yes.
come.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to reach out to anybody that you see that's a little bit more established or anything like that. Say,
Mhm.
hey, how did you get started? Can you give me like a piece of advice? Don't be afraid to do that.
Right.
A lot of people that are a lot of people that are in this space are afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to
Mhm.
reach out to a Velo, a me, a Darly, or anybody like that that's within the community. They're gonna help you, and they're gonna be like, hey, this is what I started doing, and this is what I learned, and it's fostering a growth. A lot of people just expect to get that knowledge for free, but it's Google. I'm gonna tell you right now,
Yes.
Google, YouTube will teach you so much on how to set up a stream, and you can also pass that knowledge on to the next person that's coming along. So, and then the second
Amen.
part of that question, which I don't remember,
Yes.
can you say it one more time?
No, it was all just
Okay,
what advice do you have for
okay.
new and upcoming streamers? That's all it was.
Also, the other thing too is get away from putting numbers in your name. Come up
Ooh.
with something that is unique to yourself and brand yourself. Um,
Mm.
don't be afraid to ask about branding, because when you create your own brand, you're creating an identity that people can recognize you under. Like with me, it's the thick and girthy bear. It's the gayest bear on Kick. Like that's my shtick.
Right.
Which probably not original, but hey, whatever. I'm gonna take that I'm the first one on the platform, even though I'm
There
probably
you
not.
go. I've never heard of it.
you
Take
know,
it. Take the title.
I'm gonna take the title, but it's one of those things. Just don't be afraid to brand yourself with something that you like, whether it's rainbow butterfly kittens, whatever it may be. Create your own brand. It really does help with getting and moving forward with on the platform. Brand recognition. Sorry, there you
There
go.
you go. There
More
you
game.
go. And now just to break that down for people that are listening, because I think I took it one way at first when you were saying numbers. I was thinking like more so don't get caught up, of course, in like viewer numbers, sub numbers, all that stuff.
Yeah, never
But
get
you
caught up
meant
in
like
that.
having numbers in your username.
hmm
So
Get
coming up with like an
don't
original title, right?
come up with an original title, come up with an original name, and also do not focus on your streaming numbers. Disable it.
Mm.
Completely disable it. I disable it on my stream. Oh my god, I can't English today.
You're doing so good, bud.
Don't disable it on your stream. Your first couple streams, just disable it. Do not look at your numbers. Just stream and have a good time. Laugh.
Mm.
Do what you need to do. Because if you focus on those numbers, it can be very disheartening. I've streamed to 0 people before. When I first started, I was streaming to 0.
Mm.
I'm happy with the 3 to 10 that I get. Okay, I'm happy with that.
Amen.
I
Amen.
just it's one of the things. Do not focus on the numbers, and also create a username that is authentically you.
Mhm.
Like Lauren-Shay LA, authentically you. Ayofuzz, authentically me. Uh, just create something that somebody said to you that's a nickname. That could be your screen name. I just tell people try to stick away from like the waffle 6481385. No, no,
Right,
no.
right, right, right. I like that. I think that that's good advice. And it's not to knock. I know we got some people with numbers in their name right now, probably going over it. They clicking on their username. They're like, we're gonna
Oh,
change it up. Some people have their what do you call them, their birth dates in there or their favorite lucky number and things like that. We understand that, but I do think that is good advice, just being as original as possible. I love that. I love that, Buzz, and being true to your brand and who you are. Also, something else that you said that I hope resonates with people is that you happy with them. You like, I've streamed to 0 viewers. I'd be happy with 3 people come through, 10 people come through, 20. Because if you don't appreciate the 3, you're not going to be able to know how to handle and manage it when you do have 300 and then 3,000. And then maybe one day we be blowing up like XQC and Constant and to be 70,000 people. And you'd be like, oh my God. So appreciate every level as you grow and every person that shows up, because every person is outside of the bot thoughts. We know some people be bot thought and all that stuff, but every person, majority, are real people who are taking their time out of their day to either look at what you have going on and what you're doing. Engage with you, lurk, twerk, midnight. You know what? We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all being here and listening to us all of this time. So before we go, I do want to ask you. So this next little last part, I'm going to ask every person that comes on this podcast, just so you're aware. We are going to be giving this last tidbit to staff every time we do this, because unfortunately, in the kick conversations that are held with, my co-CEO Eddie, shout out to Eddie, we love our boy Steak Eddie. However, I've yet to see an affiliate be able to get to have a conversation with him. So this is our way of kind of, even if he's not having affiliates come on his show yet, on his podcast, they're coming on mine, and we're running the feedback back to the staff after every time we do this. So anything off the top of your head, just suggestions for the platform, something to help it improve.
So 2 things. Number 1, I would love to have a public API for developers.
Okay.
Having private APIs that developers have to sign up for, unfortunately, hinders a lot of the growth within the platform. There are amazing tools that are out there. Shout out ABABs, things of that nature that are great to use, but there's a lot of different widgets that I may have used over on the other app that I can't use over here yet. So there's some stuff that I would definitely like to see them do that. Secondly, I would really like for them to not necessarily update us more, but also like be very clear with what you're doing. Because there's been some times where I've listened to him and he's talked about something, and then I'm like, well, where did that go? There was no follow up on that. I said it.
Yeah.
There was no real follow up on it, and I kind of think in having more transparency with the community is key, because he needs, basically, I would love more transparency on the platform, just more transparency in general.
Yeah.
The rules are great. I just think they could be added upon and made a little bit more business fish.
Okay.
A little bit more business fish, that would be great. But also training their staff, because there's been some issues I've had. I'm not going to mention it, but some issues I had where the staff said one thing and the other staff said a different one to me.
Yes.
And it was a different email. So
yep.
It's just a little bit of training, and it's learning curves, and it's also they're new, they're learning. So it's one of those things. So a public API. Please.
Okay. That's the big one.
Yeah, public API. When can we get that? And then also transparency within the community. Can you be more transparent?
Okay. I love that. And that's more so just for like when they have announcements, like a big thing for us is there's been outages and it's been ghetto over here. And I think has some of us known, like myself and Fuzz, that hey, the platform's gonna be crap today because we're working on this and we're trying to update it. Just a heads up. And I know Polly did his best to let us know once it was kind of already happening. But if we could just know ahead of time, when these things are coming, and like you said, the follow-up, because there are things I can't even, because there's so many things that they discuss on these podcasts, I can't even break it all down right now. We don't have enough time anyway, but there are things where it's like, what happened to kicks or channel points? Oh, I thought that the IRL in-app streaming was coming out already, and then they took it away. Did they ever kind of let people know why they took it away and all that? There's just a lot of things that I feel like that we do need follow-up on. So I will make sure I run this back to the people, for the cause and for the culture right here in the kid community, and say thank you so much for offering suggestions. Thank you so much for some beautiful advice you gave today, sharing your own story, your journey in streaming. So I just want to know from you if there are any final thoughts, and also give you the opportunity to let us know what you have going on, do some self-promo, and where else we can find you, baby. The floor is yours.
All right. So I'm your boy Ayofuzz. So first of all, thank you so much, Lauren, for having me on the podcast. Being the first guest, breaking the habitual cherry, as we're going to put it.
Thank you.
And just allowing me to have that creative freedom and to do good things. Also, if you guys want to, you can follow me over on Kick in the chat. All my socials are linked on my account. We will be doing an award show with Sugar and the amazing Lauren-Shay LA. She's going to be the host for it. All she has to do is show up. She don't even got you could put on a lash or two.
My favorite.
But we're going to be doing that again. It's for affiliates only, non-verified streamers. We really want to showcase them within the community. We do have a good amount of votes that we're going through, but don't be afraid to get your vote in. We'll be looking through that and seeing who's out there and verifying that they are a non-verified streamer and they are an affiliate.
We follow up.
Yeah, we follow up on that. But no, just I've been writing music, having a good time. You'll see it over on Twitter. Just follow me there. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, just know I respond with HR letters. But I will be happy to assist you with anything that you might need help on, because I've been in the shoes of being a streamer starting out. I know how it is.
Yeah.
So that's really it.
It's tough, Fuzz, but you make it beautiful, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. I appreciate you coming on. If y'all don't know Ayofuzz, you better get to know him. Because if you don't, you're wrong. Get right. If you don't know him, you get right, okay? Thank you so much for sharing space with us. We love you. Thank you for everything that you represent and do in this kid community, and for being the first guest to come on, share your story, and get into the thick of it on episode 1 right here on Shaynanigans. Much to discuss. You got a lot of editing to do after this, so I'm gonna let you go.
All right, thank you for having me.
I love you for real, and I will see you next time. All right,
See ya. Bye, guys.
See you, boss.